You just heard You Carry the Earth from the trio Joubran. The Palestinian brothers are here to talk about rock star collaborations, following in the family business and music as a form of resistance on the geopolitical stage. Samir, Wissam, Adnan, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, your latest record is called The Long March. Now, The Long March, that recalls both military, civilian struggles in history. What does this march mean to you, and why did you choose it as a title?
The march is for freedom. The march is for hope. The Long March is for our career that we have been playing since more than 15 years. Or me personally, since I was born, as well my brothers, as coming from crazy family from Nazareth, making da'oud, producing da'oud, and us holding this instrument as a weapon against occupation and a jasmine for hope for better future. The Long March is talking also about all the refugees that they left Palestine long time ago and waiting to come back to Palestine and to live in freedom. The Long March is the hope for beauty, and through music we can just give hope and beauty.
So it's a musical and a political march. Now, I know you work with producer Renaud Le Temps on this, your sixth studio album. He's a bit of a superstar producer, having worked with Manu Chao, Björk and Jean-Michel Jarre. He told us more about working with you on this record.
It was very easy because they were receptive to my ideas and suggestions.
De mes idées, de mes suggestions.
At the same time, it wasn't always easy, because they're three brothers, so the way they work is a little different from other albums I'm used to producing.
L'approche était un petit peu différente des albums que j'ai l'habitude de faire.
They are three artists, not one singer or leader, but three leaders who have their own way of working and expressing themselves.
Manière de s'exprimer.
So you get the impression that Renaud Le Temps had to understand your family dynamic. He had to join your family in a way, I think. Now, you're the fourth generation of oud players in your family. Was there any question at one point of doing something else? Did you pursue other projects?
Definitely. I tried my best not to be a musician, or actually not to be an oud player. Definitely being in such a family just makes you either feel that you're obliged or you're pushed. I was trying not to play because there was enough musicians in the house. There was enough oud presence in the house. But at a certain age, and the success of Wissam and Samir in their project as duet just made me think we could do something different. It can be a different trio than any other trio. Being brothers, it's very, very significant for us. It can differ us from any other group or trio. So that was the biggest challenge for us. And which just pushed me really to put aside all my dreams and just to walk towards this march and towards bigger dream that could be different.
Okay. Well, in addition to Renaud Le Temps, you also had another collaborator on this album, and that was Roger Waters of the group Pink Floyd. Now, one of the tracks you made together is called Supremacy. Let's take a listen.
You will pave over the sacred places to open a road to the satellite moon. This is the age of industry. The age of coal, fossils to fuel your thirst for fine wine. There are the dead, and the settlements, the dead, and the bulldozers, the dead, and the hospitals. There are radar screens to capture.
Now, Waters is reciting verses there from the great poet Mahmoud Darwish, who died 10 years ago. That poem was written decades ago. It's a reflection on the relationship between a red Indian and the white man. But I think it resonated for you in terms of what's going on now in the news. Can you tell us more?
Exactly. Actually, this idea came after the President Trump declared Jerusalem capital for Israel. And very fast, me and my brothers, we decided to give an answer. And this poem exactly, I remember it since 1996, where I performed with Mahmoud Darwish in Jarash in Jordan, and still it rings in my head, the words. It's so powerful, talking about the original citizens of states of America, and the white man, the power of the industry in front of the humanity and their right to live in their country. We called Roger, we told him this is the words, and after less than 1 month, we were in Abbey Studio in London, and we composed this track. Trio Joubran composed the music, and we let Roger Water to record his vocal, just reading the poet. And after that, Adnan was the responsible of taking this beautiful image for Roger Waters in just one shot, where he listened to his vocal and he just makes the impression in his face. I think this poem will stay a long time.
That move you mentioned, President Trump moving the US Embassy to Jerusalem, which happened in May of this year. Now politicians in Australia are talking about perhaps doing the same thing. Symbolically, that's a very powerful thing to do. But on a day-to-day level, what does it change for people living in Jerusalem?
Nothing.
It should not change anything, actually. It should not change anything. For us, we are born there. And when we say that our relation to any city, we belong to cities. Cities, they do not belong to anyone. So it will not change anything. Whether I take Paris as my capital of my Palestine, it's something that I feel a feeling. Home is a feeling, and it's just reflecting your self-confidence in a place, your security in a place, your safetyness, your place where you can dream and grow.
Okay. Well, another Palestinian who's become very visible in recent months is Ahed Tamimi. The young activist was imprisoned last year after she slapped and kicked Israeli soldiers outside her home in the West Bank. Since she was released from jail this year, she's become something of a teenage resistance hero. Visiting Europe, she was at the Fête de l'Humanité Music and Ideas Festival here in Paris, which was organised by the French Communist Party. Now, what do you think about actions like this? Her fame has been a very contentious issue in Israel. Do you think figures like Tamimi are helping the Palestinian cause by bringing more media attention? Is that creating visible results?
Well, we didn't create Ahd Tamimi. Ahd Tamimi is a very innocent girl that she wanted to live a normal life. Who created the story of Ahd Tamimi is the occupation, by coming daily to her house and trying to destroy her house and to destroy her dreams. This is the image that was created. And yes, we are not the heroes, we are the victims. And the victim need to be one day a hero with his story, with telling the truth about his story. I think Ahd Tamimi is a symbol of the new generation that are fighting and that are hoping not to give up in our hope, not to give up in our house, not to give up in our bedroom. Nobody can understand that somebody just comes and sleep in your bedroom and asking for peace. I cannot make any peace with somebody that is sleeping in my bedroom. All the movements from the young generation, cultural, politics, fashion, it's important for us to prove that we are a project of life. We are not a project of death. The new generation will always hope for Palestine free. We always hope to live a normal life.
Okay, well, we're moving from music to art of a more visual nature for a moment now, thanks to an exhibition at the Arab World Institute in Tourcoing in the north of France. It's entitled For a Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Palestine, a project which hopes to see the construction of such an institution in East Jerusalem. The initiative has support from both UNESCO and former Culture Minister Jacques Lang here in France. And although the building itself doesn't exist yet, the art collection is growing. Some 340 pieces have been volunteered by artists, including photographers Nabil Boutras, Anne-Marie Filaire and Teza Batniji. For now, those pieces are being stored in Paris, and one of the contributors, street artist Jeff Aerosol, says he dreams of seeing his artwork on display in the future museum, and he tells us a little more about the work he donated.
I took a photo of a young Chinese girl who was using a straw to drink out of a coconut. Then I transformed the photo into a stencil. I've used this image before. I made it into a mural on the side of a hospital in Bordeaux. Human beings aren't made to fight enemies, defend borders, or build walls. Some things transcend all of that.
There's a tendency to label any Palestinian art or art going in a Palestinian museum as political in its very nature. Do you think we'll come to a time when Palestinian art will just be considered as an aesthetic object, not with a political association?
Oh, believe me, that this is really the hope and the dream of each Palestinian artist, to make art for art, just to enjoy. But this will happen only when Palestine will be free, not under occupation. When we play music, when we compose a melody, all what we do is actually it's reflected by what's happening in the daily life. For the moment, we cannot forget about Palestine, about this case, which is one of the last occupations in this earth. So yes, it's a duty for us to talk about our culture. The culture is the proof that Palestine exists, and this is for all the artists as well. We hope one day to be really free about this pressure on our identity, and to focus only about art, to make music for a love story.
There is a difference between being Palestinian musician and a musician from Palestine. We are proud that we are musicians from Palestine, but not Palestinian musicians.
And audiences will have the opportunity to see your music in Paris at the Salle Pleyel next year in April. For now, the trio Joubran, Adnan, Wissam and Samir, thanks for joining us in the studio. We're finishing the show with Palestinian musical creation of a different style. Over the summer, the online platform Boiler Room staged one of their dance parties in Ramallah, inviting the very best of local talent to DJ at the event. That happening is part of the cultural scene depicted in their documentary, Palestine Underground, and you can watch the live sets on their website. We'll leave you with a glimpse of DJ Summer at work as she broadcasts the sounds of Ramallah to the world. Do remember to check out our website for more arts and culture, and you can follow us on social media too. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.